Sorry about that. There we go. Hello and welcome to Trisha's Cards and Crafts. I'm Trisha and this is my YouTube channel. Let's see if my feed will change. There we go. Here we go. Right, so welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to make a card like this one. It's a shaker card, but it's a faux shaker card because it's not actually behind a inside something, so that it's lifted up, so that the shake the things that are inside will shake pretty well, pretty reasonably, but it's inside a bag. And as soon as I saw these treat bags, I thought they would make the ideal shaker card or faux shaker card. So what I decided to do, I've tried it out to make sure that it did work, and it does. It's not bad. It's quite good. You do get the shaking parts of it. So I've got the card there. I haven't decorated the envelope. I will decorate it, the one I'm going to do today. I've used on the front for this one, I used some of the pop-outs that are on the Spooky and Sweet Speciality Designer Series paper. So I used some of those on this card, but I thought for this one, I thought I would try using the stamp set. So I'm going to, I did try it out because I thought I'll try colouring in the cat, and I thought I might use that one, but I changed my mind and I'm going to try and use the dog for this one. And I will still use the pumpkin, so I'll put the pumpkin so that he looks as though he's holding it. He's got a nice lollipop, and I thought, well, it's maybe a bit more interesting to colour in, so that's why I'm using him. I've also changed, I'm going to use this sentiment instead of Don't Worry, Eat Sweets. And I think, and I'll put the Happy Halloween on the inside, but I'm going to use the bats as well on the inside and on the envelope. Okay, so that's where I'm starting from. I've got all the bits that I need here. So I'm using the Spooky Halloween stamp set and dies. I've already taken out the dies that I need, and these are the ones that are left over. This one is quite an interesting one. It cuts out this shape, but it actually folds up, and what happens is the bat pops out, so it'll stick up. So if you put that on top of something, a bag of sweets or something like that, it would actually stick up, the bat will. Okay, you've got the house, which I've used before, I've got the bats that I've used before, and you have two pumpkins and a broomstick, as well as the cat to cut out as well. So you've got quite a few different things to cut out using the stamp set and dies. I've got the treat bag, and what I've done, I measured it all out in advance, and the bag is more or less 4 by 6. It's just about 4 by 6. And what I've done, I've scored it at 5 7/8. So I scored it on my trimmer, and then what I did, I cut down the sides to the score line, and then I just folded that over, so there's just the one piece, and then you've got the opening there. So that's because I'm going to put some tear and tape on there, so that when I fold it over, nothing is going to come out. So that makes the insert for the shaker card. I've cut out a piece of black card which fits exactly on the front. I could have used just a black piece of card as my card base, but then I would have had to cut some white card out to go inside to make sure that you could see where to write on and everything. So I decided I just put a piece of black on the front. So this is exactly the same size, so it's around about 4 1/8 by 5 7/8 of an inch high and wide. So that's ready to go on there. I've also cut out a piece of the designer series paper, and I'm using the one with the windows on because I thought that looked quite funky, and I thought I liked the idea with all the eyes and different things in the windows. I did think that perhaps you'd be able to see the cat, but it's not that easy to see the cat on the one that I made anyway. This one's slightly higher up, so you might be able to see it a bit better. But I've got a piece of black that I'm going to cut and put at the bottom, and then a set of the railings to go in front, so that it looks as though there's a wall there with the railings on top. So that's what this piece of card is for. This piece of card is for me to stamp the images on and then cut them out, and then this is for, oh, I should have another piece. This is for the sentiment, and let me just check. I've got a feeling there should be another one of these. What have I done with that one? Here it is. This is the one for to cut for the railings and the piece, and this one is to go at the back of the sentiment because it's just slightly wider than that. And I'm going to use, whoops, this punch. It's the Modern Oval punch, this one here. Try not to get it to flash on the screen, but I'm going to use that one for my sentiment and the background for it. So where did it go? Underneath again. There we go. So I've got hopefully everything ready today, so I won't have anything lost. What I've used for the shaker elements in the card is the Itty Bitty Bokeh Mix. I'll show you these when I open them. If I open them now, they probably go everywhere, but there are some deeper sort of beads. No, I don't know what you call them. They look like beads, but they're not, because there we go. I haven't managed to open it, so I don't know whether you'll be able to see them, but these are a bit domed rather than flat, and I thought they would stick out, so I don't know whether you can actually see that. Hopefully you can. So they're raised, whoops, and they would probably get stuck if I put them in the shaker card. So I'm going to make sure that I take them, I'm going to put some in the lid, and then I'll just make sure I take these elements out before I put them in. There's different sizes as well, so they're not all the same size, but there's, whoops, some smaller ones as well as the bigger ones. So those are what I'm going to use. They're still available, and I think, I'm not sure, but I think they're in the clearance section now, so they're cheaper if you wanted to get them. The rest of them you should be able to get if you order them soon in time for Halloween. So if you wanted to have a go at making some of these during the half-term holidays, you should be able to. Okay, right, so let's make a start. So before I start, I might as well put this on the front of the card. So I've got my black piece of card, and I'm going to use some Tombow to stick it to the front of the card. So there we go. I'm assuming that if you're watching this, you quite like Halloween. Got some hello Alex. I think it's Alexa. I'm not sure. Oh, I don't want to say Alexa, or my speaker will start talking to me. Here we go. All right, hello. Alexa, hello. Right, so this is going to go on the front of the card. Welcome. I'm glad you're joining me. Oh, sorry, I thought there was somebody else as well, but never mind, that's fine. Here we go. Right, so that's the front of my card, that's ready to go. So I can put this to one side for now. And I can also put this inside of the bag ready. Oh no, I can't, because I've got to cut I've got to cut these out ready. So we're going to cut these out of here. Now I don't know whether to, yeah, I'll do it so that they're at the bottom, and I'll I'm going to start right on the edge and go right to the edge, because did I cut this one? No, I didn't. Oh, I can't remember, but we'll cut it the right size. But the thing is, it will cut out the whole thing, and then I'll have to cut another one out, so bear with me. Right, so I need some tape to hold it on. Another piece. Here we go, just in case. Here we are, and I'm going to be able to use my small embossing machine for this, and the plates. Cut and emboss machine, I should say. So we'll cut this one out first, and then we'll cut it out again. I can just put it back through. Right, and they get a lot of these little black pieces that come out because they're part of the pieces that are inside the fence panels that come out. And we'll take that one off, put that in the space that was in, and hold that down and put it through again. And I know I haven't taken out the other pieces yet, but they'll both come out together then. Should be fine. There we go. Let's hope they will fall out again. Maybe go through again. I should have taken them out first. We live and learn. Hopefully they'll come out this time. If they don't, yes, they have come out. So there we go. Right, I'll show you that in a second. Let's put these away for 2 minutes and sort the rest of it out in a moment. Cool. I'm glad you like the card, the look of the card anyway. Just going to pop these out from inside and take this off, and these will just fall out hopefully as well. If not, I'll just use my take a pick tool, and then we get this one out. No, I'll use this one for now. I think my take a pick tool is on the table somewhere. There we go. So I've got my fence panels to go, and there we are. I'm going to use, so that will sort of just fit on there, and we will cut that to the right length when we get there. Actually, I think I might just cut this off because we don't need those little bits anyway. There we go. That won't matter. That'll be fine. So we need to put some glue on the back of this. So I'm going to use my silicone mat for that, so that I don't get glue all over my glass mat, which I have done. I would use Tombow, but I can't find, I have got the fine tipped glue as well from Stampin' Up, but I can't find it, so I'm using this. It's Cosmic Shimmer Flake and Glitter Glue, but just so that, and this one is quite good because you can see it quite well against the black. So I'm just going to put a few dots and spots on these to hold them in place. There we go. And this one, because we don't want them to move, and we don't want the glue, so the pieces of the shaker elements to go through and stick to the edges either, and then they won't move, then they won't shake. So hope for the best. Right, so that should be enough. Don't want them getting trapped underneath. There we go. it's easy to see this one. I know that it's easy to see the white, but it doesn't come out quite as quickly as the Tombow does because it's got a finer nozzle on it. I need to put the top back on before it all dries. There we go. I knew there was something I used. I couldn't remember what it was. There we go. Right, so we're going to put these across the bottom. So I'll start with this one, and there it is. My tweezers. It makes life a little bit easier. So we're going to put this. No, we're not yet. Hang on. Stay there a second. I'm going to cut a piece of this off. Not very much. Push that to the side a little bit. I'm going to cut this off about, that's 1/4 of an inch, maybe 1/2 an inch, which is about there. I'll line this up with the metal plate on my guillotine. This mini guillotine was available with Stampin' Up, but it isn't anymore. It was a special offer at the time. So I'm going to put this on first. Whoops. I just find it easier than getting out my big trim, especially when I'm doing my... I mean, I will use it, but it's easier to use the other one for now. And I use my Stamp Seal Plus just for... makes it a little bit easier. There we go, because we don't want, and if it does go over the edge, you can just push it back. Yep. Whoops, now I've got it. Didn't want that to happen. There we go. Right, we'll push this to there. So this goes along the bottom, so it'll go just under the window there, and then I'll cut this off. I've got somewhere, there they are, some non-stick scissors, so hopefully this won't stick to it. And I just cut that off there, and then I can carry on. I'll put that there for now. Putting these on now again. Try again. So start off on this edge here and go along the top of this to make it look like a wall. There we go. And then I'm going to put this on, turn that over hopefully, and move that across. Hopefully you can still see it, and try, oh I have to go that, I can't. Right, we'll just have to make it, try and fit it like that. So that fits on there, and again I will, oops, I've got some glue on there, but I'll show you what I'll do now to get rid of all this, any sticky that is there. I'll cut these pieces off and get rid of those. Whoops. Here we go. So that's now ready to go inside the bag, except that I want to use here it is, my embossing buddy. This you could use if you've got some talcum powder or some corn flour. This is all that's in this bag, is probably corn flour, or I can't remember what, I don't know what it's called in America, but it's just dab this on, and then you can just blow it off or wipe it off, and this just takes all the stickiness away, and it also helps to take any if there's any static, then it can take the static away as well. So get rid of, put that back in there before I lose it. Whoops. And I just wipe this to make sure it's not too much residue on there. You don't really want them to be white. So there we go. So that's nice and black again. But this is now going to go inside my bag. and like this. Whoops. Here we go. Doesn't want to go. I cut it so that it's slightly smaller than the bag because I wanted it to make sure it would go right the way and slide nicely in, but I didn't want it to be too much of a gap because I don't want any of the shaker elements to go outside. So that's the front of the card, because I thought that helps with the with the way that it's iridescent. It makes it look even more sort of spooky, I thought. So right, let's have a little go with some of these elements now. I'll just tip some of these into the lid. There we go, that should be plenty. And I'll just take out these larger elements, the domed pieces. And here we go. Hopefully not. Ooh, I'll be covered in sequins at the end of this. There's a few more still. And another one. You play tiddlywinks with these. Here we go. Right, put these back in. Don't want to, once they go on your finger, they don't want to come off again because of the static. But there we go. Right, and this little one there. See if I can pick some more up without having any of the, yeah, there we go. There's a few more in there now, I think. I'm making these cards for somebody, some friends, and possibly my daughter. I don't know yet, especially if she's watching. We don't want her to know about it. But there we go. Yes, no, I don't sell most of my cards. I do make cards for people that I work with, but that's all really. Those are the only people I make cards for. I don't really sell them. Right, I have tried selling them in craft fairs and things, but that's the only time when I've tried to sell them. I don't find it very easy to find places to sell them, and I haven't ever tried selling them online. Right, so we'll just tip that up and we'll just pop a few more in. There we go. Whoops. Right, let me just fold that over there like that, and then I will use some of my tear and tape to seal that. So there we go. Here's some tear and tape, and I'll put that on the edge of the bag. I've still got one on my nail. See if I can pop that one inside as well before I seal it up. So push this, press this down so that it there we go, and there we go. So that's the shaker part of the card done. So we can add this now to the front of the card. There's just a small margin around the outside with the, and I'm going to use some of this. Oops, there's another piece. Going to have sequins everywhere. So I'm using the Stampin' Seal Plus because this is quite strong adhesive, and I want to make sure it sticks well to the card front. And it's a bit bumpy as well. I think I used some tear and tape on the other one, but this is fine. This won't come off once it's on. So here we go. Let's line this up, and there we go. so that's my shaker elements parts done. Now for the decorations and the sentiment. I'm going to keep this here to stamp on because it does give a little bit more cushioning. The glass mat, even though it's level, sometimes when you use the photopolymer stamps, it's better if you've got something underneath to give a bit more cushioning. With the rubber stamps, you didn't have that problem because there was sponge underneath the rubber, so it had a bit more give to it. So I'm going to use some Memento Tuxedo black ink and make sure there's plenty of ink on this. There we go. And I'm going to stamp that on there like that. Make sure it's pressed down well so that the ink can transfer. There we go. And there we go. That's quite a nice impression. And before I do, I'm going to stamp my sentiment as well on here. So I think I might do the Happy Halloween, and then I'll do the No Tricks All Treats on the inside. So I'm going to swap them around a little bit. So Happy Halloween on the outside and around about there. There we go. And we could put some of these bats flying around as well. Right, so let's finish with for the moment. We'll get some of these bats on here. So put some down there and some over here and some on the other side. There we go. Okay, right, so this is ready as well. I'll show you the trick I'm going to use hopefully on here. So I'm using this. I've cut this strip to I think it's just under 1 5/8, maybe no 1 3/8. Oh, I measured this so that what I'm going to do, I'm going to push this into, well, let's do it this way. Put this through, and this is naturally narrower than this. I measured this first and I think it was 1 5/8, so I've cut this down a little bit less, maybe 1 1/2, and then I'm going to pull this through to where I want it to be, and then I'm going to make sure that I've got, let's see, I can't really see this very well, so make sure that there's an equal border, an equal gap at the top and the bottom. Hopefully, slightly there, that should be about right. I'm just pinching it to make sure that it doesn't move and pull. There we go, and so that bit comes off. Then I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, but this is just a bit longer. The sentiment is a bit longer than the actual size of the punch, so which is why I'm making it a little bit longer. Whoops, it'll have to be there now. There we go. Now I'll do the same thing now with the black piece of black that I measured, because the piece that I had ready is cut to be the right size for, what have I done with it? Oh, there it is. It's here all along. Thank you for telling me. So this piece fits almost exactly in again. So I'm going to cut this. No, I want it to go all the way across. Pull that out. Right, so just cut the end off. This doesn't really have much wiggle room at all. This is cut to the almost exact measurements of that. Cut that off so we've got the round edge on there, and then I'm going to stick this on. I've got a small border of black at the top and the bottom, and I'll have a small border at the side here as well. Or will I do it that side? Yes, I'll do it this way. So I'm going to use some of this, it won't hurt, and hold this down here. So we've got a small border top and bottom, and on the side, and then this will go through, and I want to make sure I can see the white. So that should be about right. So now I've got a custom sized label to go on the front. So that's how I would do with that. Okay, it's quite a useful trick if you've got, you need to have a label punch that's got at least two parallel straight sides. If you haven't, then it doesn't work quite the same way. But that's how you do that, so that you can make them whatever length you want them to be. Okay, I can put that away for now. Put that on the side for a minute. Put that to the side, and we'll colour him in. I'm just going to bring some scrap paper to put that on while I colour them in. So I'm going to use these colours here. Got them ready. Here we go. Don't get any more. That's it. So I'm going to use the Timid Tiger Dark and Light to colour in the pumpkin. So don't really need to do shading on it, but I will put a little bit on just to finish it off. Oops. And we'll go over with the bullet tip nib and just go over the lines. You won't really notice it probably very much, but it's there. We know it's there. Okay, so that's the pumpkin. And for the dog, I thought I'd colour him in green. So I'm using Lemon Lime Twist, light and dark. So I'll start off with the light, and I'll colour him in his hands, and then we'll put some shading in as well. What I like to try and do is go around the outside first and then go back in and colour the rest of it, so that hopefully I don't go over, I mean I'm going over these lines, but I don't go over the outside of the lines as well. There we go. And then I want to do this little bit just here, and I think that's all for, actually I might do one of the stripes on his socks or whatever they are, and then I'll just go in, put some of the darker Lemon Lime Twist just under, do a little bit of shading by his ear maybe, top here and at the bottom. Actually, yes, there we go. So got some shading in, and then I thought the bolts on his neck, I'm using some dark smoky slate. There's a little bit there, just dot it on, and there. And I thought we could use this to do his shorts with as well. So here we go. be the cuffs. And then might use the light. No, that's Old Olive. That's not the one I was looking for. This one, I think, is the light Smoky Slate to do the rest of his top. So there we go. There we go. And I thought it'd be nice. Oh, I'll do his socks. And I thought I'd colour. I've got some Poppy Parade light to colour his lollipop in. And maybe use the rest to colour use the dark lemon lime twist as well to do the rest of the lollipop. To make it look a bit more two-toned. Go back over with this one again. There we go. Make it look a bit more interesting. So that's the colour. I don't know. I think it's come out quite dark this time. This is quite good. On the other one, it didn't come out as dark as this. If you wanted to, you could use this is the dark but basic black blends. Blender pen, stamping blends, and you could go over the black to make them stand out a bit more, but I think he's okay as he is. I'm just going to put this to the side for now. Whoops, there we go. Hopefully they will stay there. Put those away. There we go. Right, so now we can cut this out. And we'll use, I've got that to go on there. There we go. And there you go. And a little bit more to make sure it doesn't move. And the pumpkin, cut that out. We'll put some more tape on there. Oops, that one did move again. The tape, I think I need some new tape because this one is slightly less sticky than usual. Right, let's get rid of my scissors out of the way before I start using my cut and emboss again. And the mini will be plenty big enough for this one to be cut out with. So we will put this on here. No, he's moved again. Let's hope it doesn't move once it's inside. There we go. Right, push this through now. If not, we can always use the cats. Right. Take that off there, put these over here, out of the way again. There we go. We can take him out of here. And there we go. That was cut out quite well. And then this side, this one. There's that. Don't need this now. There we go. Right, so we want to stick this on. Oh, we did stick that on there. And I'm going to mount this with some black. Might use black on that one. So these black dimensionals. So I'll put 4 on here. And some on the back of here. We'll put a little one on his lollipop. And one there. One there. some on his feet just in case. There we go. Right, put those out of the way. And we're, oh, I didn't get one for him. One for the pumpkin. Maybe two, just in case. There we go. Make sure that one fits. So now we can bring the card back. And we'll put, which way does he look? That way. So he can be standing there. And we'll put this one on at the top of the card. Happy Halloween. Try not, oh, I didn't want to cover the cat up. There we go, he can be peeping at behind. And then we want this one first. Hopefully, come on, get this one off. There we go. So this one can now, he can be stood on the wall. Oops, not in front of the cat. That's what we wanted to show the, well, his eyes are missing, but it's okay. We stood on the wall, sat on the wall, stood, sat, whichever. And we'll put him holding the pumpkin. There we go. So that it looks like he's holding the pumpkin. There we go. So there's our shaker card. So now we just need to stamp on the inside. Again, we could have done this first, but we didn't. So, or I didn't anyway. I'm going to put this When All Tricks or Treats on the inside. There we go. And then we'll put some of these bats on the inside as well. There, and we'll put some on the envelope as well. Might as well put them up here. I'm not going to go right to the edge, or I might as well, probably won't be posting it. There we go. We could put some up on this edge as well, so we've got plenty of bats around for this one. There we go. Hopefully haven't got it on the back. There we go. So that's my envelope decorated. I might as well do the other one while I'm at it. And this way up. Again, what you could do, you could put them around the flap on your envelope. I'll do the same on this one as I did on the other one. Whoops, that one didn't quite go to plan. Lifting a little bit. There we go, that should be fine. And I might put some on the inside of this one as well, because I didn't put them on this card either. So we put a couple there and some at the top there. So there we go, those are my two Halloween cards, shaker cards. So I don't know which one you prefer. I quite like these little characters. I stuck these on with some of the Stampin' Seal Plus because it's nice and strong, and I hope, well, hopefully it won't come off this, but being as I've put him on with some dimensionals, because I put this on with dimensionals, so that is nice and it's not going to come off very easily. So I thought, well, it'll be safe enough to put him on there as well. I quite like him though. I think he looks quite cute. I don't know what you think. Hello. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like it, and I'm glad you could finally join in the chat. Right, there we go. So those are the cards for this week. Next week I'm going to start off what I'm hoping to do each week. Then after that I'm going to start using some of the kits on a Friday, and I'll start off with making the cards, or what, I'm not sure which kit I'm going to use yet, but if I'll use one of the kits that are currently out, and I will make up a set of the cards that come with the kit, and then for the following week or the following 2 weeks I'll make some alternate cards that will go with the kit as well, so you can make alternates, so that you can make the cards, the kits stretch a bit more than they would otherwise. Okay, I will hopefully see you again next week, and if not, if you haven't been able to join me live and you're joining me separate once I've put the video online, still welcome. Thanks for joining me, and hopefully I will see you again as well. If there's anything you want, anything you need for Halloween, to do some crafts with, you can find them on my online shop, or anybody else's. If you're not in Europe, if you've got your own demonstrator, you could find them on their shop as well. Otherwise, I would be very happy if you wanted to buy any of the products from my shop. You'll find the link in my bio. You should be, I will try and put it in the description underneath the video once I've posted that. There is as I've said before, there is a very good joining offer on at the moment, and even if you don't want anything else after you've bought your starter kit, you can choose £130 worth of products for £35. Or if you wanted to, I mean, that would be the better deal. If you wanted to, you also get free postage, because today is the last day for free postage. If you wanted to get anything, get in there quickly before 11 o'clock tonight, and you'll get your free postage. But if you wanted to become a demonstrator, or you want to just join for the starter offer, you're quite welcome. So there's £130 worth for £35, or if you wanted to spend more, you can choose £194 worth of products for £99, I think it is. So you've got the two different options. If you decided to use the £35 worth for the £130 worth of products, you still get the same amount of free products either offer. But it also means that once you're a demonstrator, you will also earn 20% discount off your future orders. And then, so if you decide you want to place an order, then you'll get 20% on top of the 10% discount that you would get anyway as a customer. So you're a lot better off. Even if you wanted to spend the rest of the money afterwards, you're still getting the same amount of free product, and then you want to spend the rest of some money and get the 20% discount, you're so much better off. You can get even more products for your money. So you don't have to demonstrate, you don't have to be a demonstrator, you don't have to sell anything to anybody else. You do have quotas to meet every quarter, which is around about £267, I think it is, a quarter. But you can buy as little or as much as you want. You have up until the end of March to make your quota. You don't have to do it by the first quarter for when you first join, so that's good as well. You also get free catalogues. I think you get those with your starter kit, but from then on you would get any new catalogues that come out when you place your first order after they've become available, and you can add them to your order. I don't think there's anything else I I need to tell you about the joining offer. Again, it's completely up to you. You don't have to join. If you're in Europe, you can join under me or anybody else that's local to you. If you're in the USA, Canada, you join under a demonstrator who lives there. If you're in New Zealand or Australia, you join under somebody who lives in the South Pacific. So those are the different ways that you can join. Right. Thank you very much for joining me yet again, and I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye for now.